Tom wakes up to a very loud crashing sound today. The walls of his quiet apartment are shaking quite violently. He looks at the clock and sees it is early. His new neighbor is moving furniture at 5 o'clock. Tom sighs and rubs his tired blue eyes very slowly. He puts on his favorite simple blue t-shirt and jeans. A heavy hammer hits the floor in the next room. This noise is making his morning coffee taste very bitter. He wonders if the neighbor knows about the building rules. Tom values his peace and his quiet morning reading time. He hears a loud dog barking behind the thin wall. The vibrations make the pictures on his shelf move slightly. Maybe the person next door is just having a busy day. Tom tries to stay positive despite the terrible rhythmic noise. He looks out the window at the peaceful sleeping city. The sun is just starting to rise over the hills. Another loud thump echoes through the small living room area. Tom decides he must handle this situation with much grace. He does not want to start a big neighborhood war. Conflict is always very stressful for a kind person like him. He drinks the last drop of his warm morning coffee. The barking dog is now howling at the front door. Tom feels his patience starting to disappear into thin air. He needs to find a way to solve this problem. Being angry will only make the situation much worse today. He takes a deep breath to settle his nervous heart. A polite conversation is the best tool for this moment. He checks his reflection in the hallway mirror very briefly. Tom looks like a friendly and very approachable young man. It is time to meet the person causing this chaos. Tom steps out into the long and narrow apartment hallway. He sees several large boxes blocking the entire walking path. His neighbor's door is wide open and music is playing. The volume of the heavy rock music is incredibly high. Tom approaches the open door with a very cautious step. He knocks gently on the wooden frame of the entrance. A tall man with messy hair appears in the doorway. The neighbor looks stressed and a little bit grumpy today. "Hello, my name is Tom from the apartment next door." The man stares at Tom without saying a single word. "I noticed there's a lot of noise this morning." The neighbor crosses his arms and looks at the floor. "I'm trying to fix my broken bookshelf right away." Tom smiles kindly to show he is not very angry. "I understand moving can be a very difficult task indeed. However, the walls in this building are very thin here." The neighbor sighs and turns down the loud music volume. "I did not realize you could hear everything so clearly. My dog is also very nervous in this new place." Tom looks at the small dog hiding behind the boxes. He is a very cute dog with very big ears. The neighbor's expression softens just a little bit more today. "I apologize for waking you up so early this morning." Tom feels relieved that the man is being quite reasonable. Perhaps we can find a better time for the hammering. Most people sleep until at least 7 o'clock on weekdays. The neighbor agrees and promises to be much more quiet. Tom offers a friendly wave before returning to his room. The first meeting was not as bad as he feared. Communication is often the key to a happy living space. Tom leaves for work and finds more boxes in hall. He has to jump over a pile of old newspapers. This neighbor is very messy and lacks a sense of order. The hallway smells like old dust and stale packing tape. Tom realizes that the boxes are a fire safety hazard. He decides to write a small and very polite note. Please move these items so people can walk safely here. He leaves the note on top of a heavy box. When he returns, the boxes are still in the hallway. Tom feels a bit frustrated by the lack of action. He sees the neighbor struggling with a very large rug. The man looks like he might fall over any second. Tom stops and wonders if he should offer some help. His blue t-shirt is clean and he feels very energetic. Do you need a hand with that heavy blue rug? The neighbor looks surprised by the kind offer of help. I'm actually quite tired and my back really hurts. Tom takes one end of the rug and lifts it. Together, they carry the rug into the messy new apartment. The floor is covered in more boxes and loose papers. You have a lot of things to organize in here. The neighbor thanks Tom and wipes sweat from his forehead. My name is Greg, and I moved here from afar. Tom introduces himself again and shakes Greg's tired hand. It is much easier to move things with two people. Greg promises to clear the hallway by the evening today. He just needed a little bit of help and motivation. Tom realizes that Greg is just very overwhelmed with work. Sometimes a difficult neighbor is just a very tired one. He goes back to his own apartment feeling much better.
Write a comment. 3 best comments get 20 English lessons completely free.
Tom decides to bake some fresh chocolate chip cookies today. The kitchen smells wonderful and very warm this afternoon. He wants to show Greg that they can be friends. A small gesture can change a very difficult relationship quickly. He places the warm cookies on a small white plate. Tom knocks on Greg's door with a very wide smile. Greg opens the door and smells the delicious chocolate treats. These are for you to welcome you to our building. Greg looks stunned and takes the plate with shaky hands. Nobody has ever done something so nice for me before. They are just simple cookies from my grandmother's secret recipe. Greg invites Tom inside for a quick glass of water. The apartment is much cleaner than it was yesterday morning. The boxes are gone and the bookshelf is finally fixed. It looks very nice and very sturdy in the corner. Greg explains that he moved here for a new job. He was feeling very lonely and very stressed about moving. Tom listens and realizes he was right about Greg's situation. Moving to a new city is a very big challenge. They talk about the best grocery stores in the neighborhood. Greg loves the local park and the small coffee shop. The small dog comes over to lick Tom's friendly hand. He is a very good boy when he is calm. Tom spends 30 minutes chatting with his new neighbor today. He learns that Greg is actually a very funny person. They both like the same classic science fiction movies here. The chocolate cookies are a big hit with Greg today. Tom is happy he decided to be the bigger person. Kindness is a language that everyone can understand very well. He leaves the apartment with a new friend in mind. Saturday morning is very quiet and very peaceful for once. Tom sees Greg outside trying to fix his old bike. The chain is broken and Greg looks very confused again. Tom has a toolbox under his kitchen sink at home. He grabs the tools and walks down to the street. I can help you fix that bike in 10 minutes. Greg grins and steps aside to let Tom work today. Tom enjoys working with his hands and fixing small things. They talk about their favorite bike trails around the city. The sun is warm on their backs as they work. Tom shows Greg how to clean the bike chain properly. This will make the ride much smoother and very fast. Greg is impressed by Tom's many useful mechanical skills today. You're the best neighbor I have ever had, Tom. Tom laughs and tightens a small bolt on the wheel. It is just part of living in a small community. We have to look out for each other every day. The bike is finally fixed and ready for a ride. Greg suggests they go for a quick cycling trip together. Tom thinks that is a very wonderful and healthy idea. They ride through the park under the tall green trees. The air is cool and the birds are singing loudly. Tom feels a great sense of accomplishment in his heart. He turned a loud neighbor into a great cycling partner. It only took a little patience and a few cookies. They stop for an ice cream near the big fountain. Greg apologizes again for the noise on that first morning. Tom tells him to forget about it and enjoy ice cream. The afternoon passes by with lots of laughter and stories. Their friendship is growing stronger with every mile they ride. Tom returns to his apartment and sits on the sofa. The building is perfectly silent and very calm this evening. He picks up his book and starts to read slowly. There is no hammering and no loud music playing today. Greg is being very respectful and very quiet next door. The small dog is likely sleeping on the blue rug. Tom feels a deep sense of satisfaction in his soul. He solved a difficult problem without any big, angry fights. He looks at the wall and smiles to himself quietly. Having a good neighbor makes life much more pleasant here. He hears a soft knock on his own front door. Greg is standing there with a large bag of apples. My parents sent these from their farm in the country. Tom thanks him and takes the heavy bag of fruit. These look very fresh and very delicious for a snack. They agree to watch a movie together tomorrow night today. Tom suggests a classic film about a brave space traveler. Greg thinks that sounds like a very perfect Sunday plan. Good night, Tom. Thank you for being such a great friend. Good night, Greg. I'm glad you moved into this building. Tom closes the door and goes back to his book. The evening light is soft and very golden room. He takes a bite of a crisp and sweet apple. Life in the city can be very beautiful and quiet. It all depends on how we treat the people nearby. Tom is happy he chose kindness over being very angry. He feels ready for a very long and deep sleep. The stars are shining brightly outside his bedroom window today. Everything is exactly as it should be in his world. The difficult neighbor is now a very dear friend indeed.